On the Day 5 notes for Unit 11, we talked about graphing in standard form. So this is on the front of the second page of the notes. You should start off by finding your A, B, and C because we're in standard form instead of vertex form. Remember, A, B, and C are just letters. And we're talking about ax squared plus bx plus c. So in front of my x squared here, is that imaginary 1? In front of my x is a -2, and my constant is -1. So the first thing that you do is you find your x value of your vertex by doing the opposite of b over 2 times a. Here my b is -2, so the opposite of that is +2 over 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that's the x value of my vertex. To find my y value, I just take this 1 and plug it in for both my x's. So y is equal to 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 1. You can do that in your calculator. 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 1, which is -2. So that is my y value of my vertex. So my vertex is at the point 1, -2. I know that since my A is positive, I'm going to have that U-shaped graph. So if I get done graphing this and it's not the U-shape, then that means I messed up somewhere. So remember that your vertex goes in the middle of your table. We add 1 to get bigger, so 2, 3. We subtract 1 to get smaller, 0, -1. I'm going to use the table feature on my calculator. If you have a graphing calculator, you'll follow these same steps. It's a little dark. There we go. So you press y equals to get to the screen, and then I'm going to type in this equation. X, which is right here with all the letters, x squared minus 2x minus 1. Then to get to the table, I press second graph. It says table in yellow, so I press the yellow button. A bunch of you guys, your second button is blue. So from here, you can scroll up to get smaller, scroll down for your x values to get bigger. So my first x value that I need is -1. So if I look at my calculator, when x is -1, y is 2. So that means that right here, I'm going to have a 2. When x is 0, y is -1. When x is 1, y is -2. I already have that. When 2, -1, and 3, 2. So now I have my points. I can plot them. Remember that you should have that repeating pattern. That's a clue that you're on the right track. So -1, +2. 0, -1. 1, -2. 2, -1, 3, 2. Gave me my U shape, so I know I'm on the right track. And that's it. So down on the second one, we still have ax squared plus bx plus c as the form that we're using. I have an x squared, I have an x, but I don't have a constant. So my a is 3, my b is 6, my c is 0 because there's no constant. First I find the x value by doing the opposite of b over 2 times a. b is 6, so the opposite of that is -6 over 2 times 3. So we have -6 over 6, which is -1. So just a reminder that we changed the original problem from -6x to +6x, so that's why that's positive. So that's my x value. Plug that in for both those x's to get my y's. So 3 times -1 squared plus 6 times -1. Exit out of there. 3 times negative 1 squared plus 6 times negative 1 is equal to negative 3. So that's my y value. So my vertex is at negative 1, negative 3. Again, that goes in the middle. I am going to use my table feature. Let me see if I have one of the smaller calculators. Alright, so I've already showed you guys how to do the table on the graphing calculator. If you have one of the 36X Pros, we'll run through those steps real quick. So you hit table, and you want to edit your function that you're using. If there's anything in here, go ahead and clear it out. Nope, I didn't have anything, so I got to do that again. I'm going to type in this equation, so 3. This button that has the X, Y, Z, T, A, B, C, D, all those letters, that gives you your X squared plus 6X. I press enter. Just keep pressing enter till you get to calculate, and then it gives you a table. So, I need to find when X is negative 3. My Y value is 9. At negative 2, it's 0. At negative 1, it's negative 3. That's okay. 0, it's 0. And 1 is 9. So then I plot my points. Negative 3. This is 8, so I'm just going to approximate where 9 would be. Negative 2, 0. Negative 1, negative 3, 0, 0, and 1, 9. I'm going to do one more. New number 4, because this is one that everybody kind of struggled on a little bit. On number 3, just as like a little side note, that 2 would be your A, and that 3 would be your C. So on this one, you're missing your B value. So if you're getting stuck there, that might help you out. Alright, on example 4, my A is negative 1, my B is 6, and my C is negative 9. The X value is equal to the opposite of B over 2A. The opposite of 6 is negative 6 over 2 times negative 1. So that is 3. Then I'm going to plug that in. And when you plug it in, there's a negative out front. So I need negative, parentheses, 3 squared plus 6 times 3 minus 9. Type that into your calculator. And it gives you 0. So my vertex is at 3, 0, 4, 5, 2, and 1. Again, I like to use my table feature to get the other values. Just make sure when you're doing that you put that negative in front of the x squared, like it has right there. Or else it's not going to give you the right things. So in my table, my 1 is negative 4. When x is 2, y is negative 1, 3, 0. I already have 4, negative 1, and 5, negative 4. So then I plot my points. 1, negative 4. 2, negative 1. 3, 0. 4, negative 1. 5, negative 4. So this time, I've got my rainbow shape, my hill, my frowny face, whatever you want to think about it as, and that makes sense because that A value is negative, telling us that it has that reflection, which is going to make a rainbow shape instead of the U.